Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of February 26, Wednesday. I'm Danny Laurel. Starting today's rush with hundreds of Filipinos that are back in the country after being quarantined aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship. A total of 445 repatriates divided in two flight batches arrived at the Haribon hangar in Clark Air Base in Pampanga around midnight. 4 officials from the DFA and 9 officials from the DOH form part of the government repatriation team. The group is set to undergo quarantine procedures at the new Clark City in Tarlac. However, 93 of the 538 Filipinos aboard the Diamond Cruise are still in Japan. 80 have tested positive for COVID-19, but 10 of them have already been discharged and were given a clean bill of health. The Philippine Embassy in Tokyo assures that the remaining Filipino crew in Japan are in good hands.
Ino-upload po yung mga pasyente nag-test positive from the boat, and they are immediately admitted to Japanese medical facilities in and around the Tokyo area.
Now here in the Philippines, the total number of suspected COVID-19 cases increased by just 1 since Monday. Less than 100 of them are still in the hospital, while over 500 PUIs have been sent home. Iran now has the most number of COVID-19 related deaths outside of China after reporting a total of 15 deaths as of today. This brings the total death count to 2,708. While COVID-19 cases worldwide are on the rise, with over 80,400 cases recorded. That is due to a surge in infections in Iran, Italy, and South Korea. But on the bright side, almost 28,000 people around the world have already recovered from the disease. Thousands of Catholic faithful are expected to take time off their usual routine to attend Ash Wednesday Masses. This marks the start of the Lenten season. And joining us live from Quiapo is Justine Punsalang to give us an update. Justine, what's the situation dyan sa Quiapo?
Danny, the Ash Wednesday Masses have already started here in Quiapo Church. The earliest Mass was at 5 a.m. this morning, and there will be one every hour. Following the recommendation of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or the CBCP, instead of the annual daubing of ash on the forehead, this year, ashes are only sprinkled on top of head of devotees. This is to avoid possible spread of the COVID-19, which could only be passed through physical contact. We have spoken to some devotees here in Quiapo Church and asked for their thoughts on this new way of celebrating the Ash Wednesday. One of the devotees was actually surprised and said that he was not aware of the recommendation. Nevertheless, he agreed with the safety precaution. Another devotee also said that she found the sprinkling of ash a good measure to avoid the possible spread of the disease. During the homily at the 6 a.m. Mass led by Monsignor Dean Coronel, he asked the devotees to pray for other countries where the Ash Wednesday tradition was cancelled due to the threat of COVID-19. Danny, for those who are planning to come here in Quiapo Church to celebrate the Ash Wednesday, they could come here until 12 noon or 12:15 this afternoon, because there will be an hourly Mass then, and the continuing hourly Mass will resume at 3 p.m. until 8 p.m. Danny?
Okay, so sprinkling of ash instead of ash on the forehead. Thank you so much, Justine Punsalang, reporting to us live from Quiapo in Manila. Now, amid debates on ABS-CBN's franchise issues, Bayan Muna Representative Carlos Zarate is insisting that a joint Congress resolution is not necessarily to extend the network's franchise. Ria Fernandez tells us why.
In 1994, the House Committee on Legislative Franchises, the National Telecommunications Commission, and the Kapisanan ng mga Broadcasters sa Pilipinas inked a Memorandum of Understanding. Under the agreement, NTC was given power to grant provisional authority to radio and TV stations. It can extend up to 2 years if the lower chamber has not yet acted on a network's franchise application. 2 decades later, The House tackled the MOU once again. For Bayan Muna Representative and Minority Deputy Leader Carlos Zarate, who is also behind one of ABS-CBN's franchise bills, the agreement is enough basis to grant the TV giant a provisional authority, doing away with the need for a joint resolution from both chambers.
Kung gustong pagtibayin ito, ay pwede rin yun. No? But at this point, sa tingin ko, this will suffice dahil hindi pa naman ito na-supersede.
But Cebu Representative Raul Del Mar said a Congress resolution is faster and in this case, more helpful. He filed House Joint Resolution number 28, aiming to extend ABS-CBN's franchise until the end of the 18th Congress on June 30, 2022.
That a resolution, joint resolution, would have chances of being approved because it does not take that long, and unlike the full-blown hearings.
The joint resolution is already at the House Committee on Legislative Franchises, but for Deputy Speaker Johnny Pimentel, this is a little too late, as Congress will go on an Easter break by March 12.
I don't think it will be approved now because it will have to go to the normal process. Any resolution or any bill that will be filed.
Majority Floor Leader Martin Romualdez said it is now up to Chairperson Franz Alvarez to act on it. But for Romualdez, it could just clog up the committee's calendar. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
Got any reusable utensils at home? It may be time to bring them out more often. That is after the DENR announced a ban on single-use plastic ones, specifically in government offices. Shaila Francisco tells us what to expect from this order.
Pamela, a government employee, uses reusable containers and stainless utensils during lunch breaks. But at times, she resorts to a disposable stirrer whenever she's in a rush.
Magkakonsume ka pa ng time para maghugas, ganun. Unless kapag gagamit ka na stirrer, tapon mo na lang.
But that may soon change, as her workplace and other government offices, including state universities and colleges, may soon ban unnecessary single-use plastics. As stated in a resolution approved by the National Solid Waste Management Commission, the ban includes plastic cups lower than 0.2 millimeters in thickness, often used in fishbowls and taho, plastic labo or thin-filmed sandbags lower than 15 microns, plastic straw, coffee stirrer, and utensils.
Would you imagine yung plastic, bibili mo siya, hahalo mo lang, after that, tapon mo na. You don't wash it and, use it again.
But for the group Break Free from Plastic, the order only covers small volumes of plastic.
Napaka-limited ng scope or yung coverage nung resolution. Sa tingin namin, minor siya compared to yung malawakang problema natin sa plastic. Magtutuloy pa rin yung paggamit.
Before you come up with the banning on any item, there should be an alternative. Sad to say, binabalanse pa rin natin. Ano ba yung magiging epekto sa taong bayan?
The DNR is set to release an administrative order to spell out the guidelines before its target implementation in March. The agency is also crafting a so-called shame campaign against violators.
Mas mabigat. Dahil napakagaling mong opisyal, napakagaling mong sekretary ng isang department, pero sa basura, palpak ka. Siguro kahiya-hiya yun.
The Philippines is among the top plastic polluting countries in the world. In a 2018 study by Our World in Data, the Philippines has become the world's third largest source of plastic leaking into the ocean. Shaila Francisco, We Are One News.
Here are the biggest stories from the dailies. The Philippine National Police vowed to step up efforts in the crackdown against crimes related to Philippine offshore gaming operations in the country. The Philippine Star reports that the PNP anti-kidnapping group and the CIDG have been tasked to curb the rising number of kidnappings and other crimes linked to POGOs here. Heads up, jet setters from the north. The 734 billion peso Bulacan International Airport project is a step closer to implementation after securing approval from various departments. Business World reports that the San Miguel-sponsored project is free to start groundbreaking after getting the go signal from the Office of the Solicitor General, DOJ, and the DOTR. And this from Pangmasa. Despite the holiday, fewer people commemorated the EDSA People Power anniversary on Tuesday. Only a simple flag-raising ceremony was held at the People Power Monument. The National Historical Commission believes that this is due to the threat of COVID-19. Because of the small crowd, the PNP reported a generally peaceful celebration of the 34th anniversary of the EDSA Revolution. Let's fast break now to sports. Rush, the PBA is set to launch a 3x3 tournament in its 45th season. Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas President Al Panlilio believes 3x3 is the sport which would allow Filipinos to secure a ticket to the Olympics. This year's PBA season kicks off on March 8 after a week after its original schedule amid the COVID-19 threat. Now, even though gate attendance dropped by 4% last season, the social media views of the games increased by 25%. PBA is expecting to gain more viewership this season through TV5 and Signal.
Ang ating public, ang ating audience ho ngayon, nagbabago na ho ang behavior. Dati ho, manonood ka lang sa Coliseum live or manonood sa TV. Sa ngayon ho, na-observe ho namin, kasi marami na hong platforms. Merong TV, dun sa TV5, meron din ho tayo sa pay TV naman na PBA Rush na HD. So, kumbaga ho, pag nanonood kayo sa bahay ng high definition, para kayong nandoon sa Coliseum mismo, yung experience ganon. At sabi nga ho, yung sa social media, available na ho sa website ng PBA, available din po sa Facebook. Doon ho sa Facebook, tumataas ho ang viewership ng PBA. Nasa radyo rin ho tayo, sa Radyo 5, 92.3 FM. At sa Signal Play ho, mayroong app ho ang Signal that you can use, you can watch through your mobile phone or tablet. PBA Rush ho, pati TV5 nandun. So, ang viewership po umaakyat, pero marami na ho silang choices kung saan nila mapapanood ang PBA.
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. The Bicameral Conference Committee is set to deliberate on the Comprehensive Values Education Act or the law reviving GMRC in schools. Over at the lower house, the Committee on Transportation is set to discuss several issues on train systems across the metro. That includes the suspension of MRT-7 construction and Metro Manila subway realignment. And President Duterte will be leading the oath-taking of new council members of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, the NCCA, which will also be having its 12th Dangal Awards in Malacanang. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Danny Laurel. We are One News.